Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, the devotees. Hare Krishna. Welcome, dear guests also. Thank you very much for coming today to our Sunday program. Hare Krishna. Ganz kurz, jemand, der kein Englisch versteht, heute hier. Otherwise we'll do it in English. So I'll just quickly introduce you to the program. Today we'll have a lecture starting now until 5 with His Grace Advaita Chaitanya Prabhu. We will have very beautiful prasadam feast, vegetarian feast prepared for all of you. And after that, 6:15, there will be a japa workshop here in the temple room. And from 7 till 8, there's a temple ceremony. And then from 8 to 9:30, some more kirtans like we just had now. And today we have a little bit of a special class. We have with us His Grace Advaita Chaitanya Prabhu. He is a disciple of His Holiness Shivaram Swami Maharaj and has been practicing Bhakti Yoga for more than 20 years. And Prabhuji is originally from the UK, England, has joined there in the Bhaktivedanta Manor in London, but now since few years has been serving in Hungary. And one of his main services is also to share the gift of Krishna consciousness with others in the form of Srila Prabhupada's transcendental books. And so that will be a little bit of the topic of today. The lecture is entitled Live to Give. So we're very happy that Prabhuji is here. And because it's the Christmas marathon, which is a special time, all around the world, devotees in ISKCON, in this Hare Krishna movement, they're distributing Srila Prabhupada's books. He will also speak about that a little more in detail. So thank you very much. And if you can all come a little bit closer, that would be nice, that we can also have some space for the newcomers. Thank you very much. If anybody needs a translation, falls jemand eine Übersetzung braucht, vom Englischen ins Deutsche, ich wäre da hinten in der Ecke und würde das anbieten.
Is anyone here for the first time? Anyone new? Oh. So we're going to sing a little song. We should, right? Jai Radha Madhava? And if you can follow the words, then do. I don't know if there are any. There are songbooks. Okay, great. So a couple of newcomers, they can. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashoda Nandana Brajjana Ranjana. Yashoda Nandana Brajjana Ranjana. Jamuna Tiravana Chari. Jamuna Tiravana Chari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Shri Shri Jagnapal Subhadramai ki, Shri Shri Gaurnitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nittai Gaur Premanandi. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Lungaite Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurun Dinataranam. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Brinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna to everyone. I think I know a lot of familiar faces, so I don't think I need to introduce myself anymore. I'm quite a regular visitor to Switzerland. So of course, the topic for today is Live to Give. What do we give? You can only give something that you have. And I think it's nice, it's useful, it's relevant to regularly take stock and reflect on what we have. Very often we're looking at what we don't have. The world trains us to strive for something new, for something different, for something better, quote unquote. Very seldom are we encouraged to really reflect on what we have and be grateful for what we have. But in Krishna consciousness, it's something we should do regularly. They say Krishna consciousness, a devotee's life is a life of reflection. And as we reflect, we take stock and we appreciate and have great gratitude for what we have, for what we've received. Sometimes I think about what my life would be like without Krishna consciousness. If I didn't have Krishna consciousness, then it would be so empty. I would be a ritualistic Hindu, I'd say. That's, but what is the real core and the essence of the Vedic literatures, which I grew up with but never really understood the essence of? We have access to pure devotional service. And what does that mean? To really learn to love God. To really learn to love Krishna. To really learn to love. What is love? These words are bandied around in our world so freely, so superficially. I love you, I love her, I love him. But what does it really mean to love? Our scriptures are giving so much access to a depth of life, to a depth of experience. And as we practice Krishna consciousness and we go deeper into this process, we see that this is something very special. Very, very special, very, very deep. 95% of Krishna consciousness is invisible. We have the rituals, we wear tilak and we wear dhoti and kurta and so many other things. We have so many things we do on the external level. But there's so much that goes on and that should go on inside. And so as we reflect on what we could have been, what we would have been without Krishna consciousness, if Prabhupada didn't come, Jayapataka Maharaj has written this song, Yadi Prabhupada na hoito, tabe ki hoito. If Prabhupada didn't come, if Prabhupada wasn't there, if Prabhupada didn't make that journey on the Jaladuta 40-day journey and go to the West to preach Krishna consciousness, Yadi Prabhupada na hoito, tabe ki hoito, what would happen? What would be of me? Where would I be? So as we cultivate this gratitude, as we reflect on how much we've received, then the natural tendency excuse me, it's cold out there and I've been on the streets a lot lately. We reflect on what we have and what we receive from Srila Prabhupada, then we naturally feel this gratitude. In Sanskrit, the word for gratitude is kritagya. 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 It means it's made up of two words, kritagya. Krita means to do, and gya means to know. So kritagya means to know what another has done for you. Gratitude, the definition of gratitude in Sanskrit is to know what another has done for you. Srila Prabhupada's life is a life of sacrifice. I was recently I went to Mayapur, I went to Vrindavan and then Mayapur, and on the journey back I stopped in Calcutta for a day and I visited two places. First, the place where Prabhupada appeared in 1896, 1st of September, Prabhupada appeared in Calcutta, so I went to his house, and ISKCON has recently acquired possession of that building. It had a part of the building for a number of years, for the past 15 years or so, but the building had been split up and so on, but it acquired the entire area and now has built, I wouldn't say a temple, but it's built a there is an ISKCON presence there now, so the whole area belongs to us, and so that's very nice, the place where Prabhupada appeared. And then in 1922, Srila Prabhupada met Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in a place called Alta Dingy Road Junction. Number 1 Alta Dingy Road Junction in Calcutta. And so I visited that place. It's a beautiful place, very wonderful. Once Srila Prabhupada's friend, his name was Narendra Nath, he said to Prabhupada, let's go and visit this sadhu, he's come. And Prabhupada had met many sadhus in his youth. Srila Prabhupada's father would always invite sadhus, saffron-clad monks, to the home, to feed them, to serve them, to take care of them. Prabhupada said almost every other day, almost every day they had someone visiting to feed, to take care of, to serve. But he said that he saw these people with their lifestyles and they weren't of good character. He lost faith in these people. So when Narendra Modi, his friend Narendranath, said, let's visit this Swami, this great personality, Srila Prabhupada said, no, I'm not interested. I've seen so many of these kind of people. I don't want to go. He said, Narendranath said, this one is special. I promise you, you won't regret it. So Srila Prabhupada was persuaded. He went to this place, Altadingi Road Junction, and it was on the rooftop. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada's spiritual master, was giving a class. And he said that you are educated young men. Go to the West and preach Krishna consciousness. Give the people this Vedic culture, this Krishna consciousness. And Srila Prabhupada put his hand up. Very brave, you know. Foreign place, you know, Swami there. And he put his hand up and he said, until and unless India is freed from the rule of the British, we're entrenched. You know, we're imprisoned by the British. For 250 years they've been on our land. No one will listen. This Krishna consciousness, this preaching you're talking about, cannot take place until and unless India gains freedom from the British. Prabhupada was a Gandhian. He was following Mahatma Gandhi, the freedom movement. And Saraswati Thakur was very strong. He was known as a lion guru. He said, there is no material impediment for the Krishna consciousness movement. Nothing can stop it. Nothing on the material platform can stop Krishna consciousness from being preached far and wide. And he was so strong, so powerful, had such conviction. Srila Prabhupada said his heart was changed. He felt he was defeated by his future spiritual master. But you know, when you feel defeated, you feel bitter. Sometimes, have you had that experience? If you're defeated by someone you don't accept, or you don't want to accept, or you feel bitter about it. Srila Prabhupada said he felt very sweet when he was defeated by his spiritual master, because he had such faith and conviction. This was the truth, and the truth stirs the heart. So Srila Prabhupada was convinced, and he said at that point, Srila Prabhupada said, at that point, I accepted him as my spiritual master. And it was only 11 years later, in 1933, that he actually took formal spiritual initiation. And it was only in 1965 that Srila Prabhupada actually made the journey to the West. It was a 40-day journey on the Jaladuta on a cargo ship, not a nice, luxurious, what do they call it, cruise ship. You know, it was a cargo ship. And he had 2 heart attacks, and he took the bare necessities with him. But it was ordained. He said that Krishna came when he had after one heart attack. Krishna came overnight and he massaged him and helped him to feel better. But it was a difficult beginning. For the first year in the Prabhupada Lilamrit, it's described that it was a year in the wilderness. Wilderness, you know that word? Like a year in the jungle, you know, sort of. No one was interested. Nothing was you know, it didn't seem like there was any progress. And Srila Prabhupada would go regularly to the harbour to see the ship timings, to see when the ships were returning to India. He was reflecting on returning back. He was 70 years old. And he began the Krishna consciousness movement at 70. There was one at Bhaktivedanta Manor. It was almost closed down in the 80s. They hired one of the best lawyers in the country in order to defend the manor and keep the manor open. This was a case which went from the mid-80s to the mid-90s. It was a 10-year battle to keep the manor open, and eventually, of course, they were successful. But they hired one of the best QCs, the best lawyers in the country to defend the manor. And you know, he was a very talented man. quite old, 70s. And he speed read Prabhupada's books. You know, lawyers are speed readers. When I meet lawyers on the streets and I say, you must be a speed reader, take a few books. So he speed read Prabhupada's books, and he gained a decent... He needed to understand Krishna consciousness in order to be able to defend and present Krishna consciousness to the courts. So in one meeting with the devotees, he said that, you know, you don't really understand Prabhupada's sacrifice. I understand better than you do. And the devotees were shocked. This guy, he's just come, okay, he's read a few of the books, but on what basis does he know and understand Prabhupada better than us, who have dedicated our lives to his divine grace? He said, I know better Prabhupada's sacrifice, what he achieved. I can appreciate it more. And the devotees were confused. What do you mean? And he said, the lawyer, he said, you're all young. You're in your 30s, maybe some of you are in your 40s. I'm 70-something. I know what it's like to be 70, and what limitations the body imposes upon an individual who's 70-something. He said, so you can't really understand what it means to travel around the world 14 times, to establish 108 temples, to inspire tens of thousands of people, and establish a movement which has endured for so many years. You don't know what that means to do that at the age of 70-something. I can really appreciate it, he was saying. So the devotees were really touched by his appreciation of Srila Prabhupada. Why am I saying all of this? Well, I can talk about Srila Prabhupada till the cows come, till the cows come home for a long, long time. I guess I'm just reflecting on this just to cultivate this gratitude and appreciation that Srila Prabhupada did so much for us, to help us, to give us a meaning in life, something deeper. And therefore it is incumbent upon us. We have a debt of gratitude to Srila Prabhupada. We have to be grateful, Kritagya. We have to know what Srila Prabhupada has done for us, and not just know, but do something to express our gratitude. And therefore we have this slogan, live to give. This is a mood which we take on in our lives, that I want to give. I want to give what I have. I've received Krishna consciousness. I've received this wonderful, amazing, priceless gift. And I want to share it with others. I want to give it to other people. I want them to also become fortunate. So we use this word preaching very often. I'm not a fan of the word preaching just because of the negative connotations that it has. It kind of makes us sound like we're above everyone and we're telling them, you listen to me and you have to do this and you have to change that. Don't do that and you do this. That's not the mood. More we share Krishna consciousness with people who are interested. And there are many, many people out there who are ripe and ready for Krishna consciousness. We're looking for the ripe souls. We're looking for those people who are open and interested. And therefore we, in this month, it's the marathon month. In many places it's from the 1st to the 24th of December. We, as much as we can, as much as our lives allow, we try and arrange some time so that we can go out in whichever way we find to share Srila Prabhupada's books with the people. And it's a wonderful time. It's something that I look forward to and at the same time dread. You know, it has this bittersweet experience. In Hungary we have a 34-day marathon. So we started on the 20th of November. So myself, Lucas, and one other young man have been going out in the streets of Switzerland. We started in St. Gallen, We went down to Khur, to Books and Vaduz and Sargans, and then we've been in the Zurich area. Of late, we were in Uster and in Dubendorf and so many other places. Sharing Krishna consciousness, giving Srila Prabhupada's books to the people, and you will be surprised how many people are interested, how many people really want to know, how many people are inquisitive, thinking deeper about life, reflecting, not feeling satisfied with their day-to-day routine, knowing that there's something deeper, but not quite knowing what. And it's wonderful to meet such people. And that's what makes it worth it. You know, this book distribution is very special. Srila Prabhupada wanted it. That's one key reason why it's very special. His spiritual master wanted it. In one of the temples, the premier temple in Calcutta is the Bagh Bazaar Mandir. They made this new temple. It was made of marble, which in the 1930s was very special. 1920s, 1930s, very special. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he established 64 temples across India. So the premier temple was this Bagh Bazaar temple. And he, on the altar, there were Gaura-Nitai deities, and next to the deities, there was a printing press. On the altar, next to the deities, there was a printing press. And it was printing books, or leaflets, flyers, or not flyers, magazines, I think. It was printing magazines. And this printing press was going on all night. And the devotees were concerned. They asked Saraswati Thakur, aren't we disturbing the deities with this printing press? You know, especially imagine 100 years ago, a printing press is pretty noisy as well. And it's going, and it's not a very pleasant noise to the untrained ear. Why do I say untrained ear? Because Saraswati Thakur said, this is better than any kirtan. This printing press, the sound, not the noise, the sound, the beautiful melody of the printing press, printing Krishna conscious literatures is better than any kirtan, because this is Brihat Kirtan. This is great kirtan. Because this literature will go out to the masses. So if we go out and do Harinam, Harinam is wonderful. You know, Harinam Sankirtan, you know, this is what we are. But the Harinam, Saraswati Thakur said, it will be heard for a few roads, few blocks, just say. You know, and the sound vibration will dissipate over time. Of course, on another level, on a subtle level, it's eternal. But for people, ordinary people to hear, the sound dissipates. But this printed matter, it endures. It stays. One person will read it, another will read it, another will read it, they can reread it. It stays, it endures, it will travel much further and much more permanently. So he said this printed matter is Brihat Kirtan, particularly books. Magazines people dispose of, but books, they stay. And there are so many stories of people who have got books, stored them away, and 10, 20, 30, even 40 years later, someone has picked up the book and it's changed their life. And that's why they're called ticking time bombs. Ticking time bombs. Tick-tock, 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 bang. At some point, someone will read the book and it will change their life. And so this printing press, on another occasion, I think it was 1932, they were in Radhakund. Srila Prabhupada was with his spiritual master. And many devotees had gone on parikram, but Srila Prabhupada stayed to hear from his spiritual master. And he said there is fire in the mat in this Bagh Bazaar Mandir. They built this beautiful marble temple. And he said all of the devotees, the senior men, they're fighting over who gets which room. He wanted the best room and he wanted the other room, and they're all fighting over which room. He said, forget about these temples. He said, better we sell all the marble, sell the temple, and what do we do with the money? Print books. So Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada's spiritual master really valued this printed matter. And Srila Prabhupada took this from his spiritual master. Srila Prabhupada said that I learned everything from my father, Gaura Mohan De, his biological father. But he said this book translating, book publishing, and book distribution, I learned from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So this is therefore our heritage. And therefore Srila Prabhupada referred to it as the family business. Yeah, it was a family business. So it was Saraswati Thakur's business, it was Srila Prabhupada's business, and like any Indian businessman, it's tradition. You have to carry on. The children, the sons and the daughters have to carry on with the business. And therefore everyone who is a follower of Srila Prabhupada, young, old, man, woman, whoever, has to carry on in their own way with the family business. And therefore we go out, or we take books, and we share these books with whoever we know, or people we don't know. So when we go out on the streets, we meet people, strangers, and we offer them our hearts. This Bhagavad Gita, SSR, Science of Self-Realization, Chant and Be Happy, these books are our hearts. We're devotees. And we're offering people our heart. We're saying, this has changed me. This has helped me so much. This is so wonderful. This is so beautiful. Please, you also take it. Maybe we don't say exactly those words, but that's basically what we're doing. We're offering them something very intimate. That was one of my concerns when I first started book distribution. I felt so sad when someone rejected what I was offering them, because it was so dear to my heart. And when someone said, no, I don't want it, I'm not interested, it was painful. Why are you not interested? This is so wonderful. So I felt, that was a barrier that I had to overcome. But there are so many people out there who are so interested. Yesterday was Gita Jayanti. And Gita Jayanti is always special. So we try and distribute as many Bhagavad Gitas as we can. And I always find the Bhagavad Gita, on this day especially, it finds itself in the hands. It finds owners. Yeah. So I went through a period yesterday, it was towards the end of the day, and I really wanted to distribute just a few more books before we left. And for half an hour, nothing was happening. Everyone was just saying no, no, no. It was 6:30. Everyone was rushing home. It was cold. And we were in Lucerne. So Lucerne's a city. Everyone's rushing. They're rushing to the trains. They're rushing to the buses. They're running around. And I just wanted one more good person. And I was just praying to Krishna, please, I just want one more good person. And for half an hour, no, 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 get a job, get a life, go home, what are you doing here, you know what I'm speaking about, you know? Anyone who does book distribution has that experience, you know? And it was just no, 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 no. For half an hour, nothing was happening. And then suddenly a young lady stopped. And I asked her, what do you do? And she said she's a social worker. And I told her that I feel like a social worker. I said, actually, maybe you guessed, I'm a monk. But us monks, we also feel like social workers because a lot of people come to us in need. But I told her, I wish I had a qualification like you do. You get trained in how to really take care of people because the mind is a very sensitive thing. And she said before she used to be a nurse. So I always find nurses have soft hearts. You know, they're nice people. So I gave her an SSR, Science of Self-Realization, just to soften her up. Of course, my master plan was to give her a Gita. We're just working up to it. So I gave her a Science of Self-Realization. And I said, self-reflection is very, very important in life. You know, the beauty of the self. It's a nice title. Because everyone's besotted with themselves. They're obsessed with themselves these days. So they like the title. The beauty of the self. And I said a lot of people are in need because they don't understand how beautiful we actually are. and I'm not talking externally, inside there is so much beauty within, but people just don't realize it. And part of our job as social workers, I also made myself a social worker, part of our job as social workers is to actually help people to see that beauty within. This book will help you and others see. 4 or 5 pages per chapter. It's thought-provoking, it's deep, it's relevant. So she was interested. We had a nice conversation after that. And then I asked her, do you like food? And she's like, everyone loves food. So I gave her a small cookbook. I won't try and say the name. How was it? Beautiful. I can't do this. And I gave her a cookbook. And she said, wow, is this Ayurvedic food? I said, okay, give me that back. And I gave her the Adiraj cookbook. It's a big, nice big cookbook. And she said, is this Indian food? And she said, I said, this is Indian food. She said, wow, I love Indian food. It's my favorite. And Swiss people don't usually say that. In England, the most popular food in England is Indian food. There is an Indian restaurant on every street corner in England. But it's not as popular here in Switzerland. But this was a young Swiss lady saying her favorite food is Indian food. I said, how come? She said, I spent 2 months in India, just before COVID. And I loved the food there. It was amazing. This is only Indian food? I said, only Indian food. She said, wow. She held it to her chest. I said, what were you doing in India? She said, I spent 2 months in an ashram. I said, wow, that's amazing. Which ashram was it? She said it was Anandamayi Amma. Maybe you've heard of her, the one who hugs people. I said, wow, that's amazing. So that was my in. Then I gave her the Bhagavad Gita. I said, madam, can I show you my favorite book? She said, yes, please. I showed her the Bhagavad Gita. I put it into her hands. It was a nice, hard-bound Bhagavad Gita, which we get from Uttama Shloka Pro. And she said, is this the Bhagavad Gita? I said, this is the Bhagavad Gita. She said, this has been on my list of books to buy for ages. I can't believe you've just given it to me. I thought, wow, this is amazing. We planned to go home at 6:30. This was exactly 6:30, 6:35 maybe. And she was so happy to receive the Bhagavad Gita, so I introduced her to it. I told her a little about it, and I said, I'm so happy. So then she took these books. We had a wonderful conversation. I gave her a temple flyer so she can visit the temple, and it was just the perfect person. And I was just reflecting, who sent this person? How did this person just fall from the sky? Krishna. Krishna sent this person. Why? Because of our ardent prayer. And mostly because he's so kind. He's just unlimitedly kind. And you experience that kindness, especially when you... in my experience, I'm sure, so many devotees here with so many different experiences, but I experienced in my life Krishna's kindness first and foremost, not in the temples, but on the streets. When I'm out preaching, when I'm sharing Krishna consciousness, when I'm trying to give Krishna consciousness to other people, I feel Krishna has his merciful hand over my head more than any other time in my life. He's so pleased. He says in the Bhagavad Gita at the end, 1868, 1869, Nata Chasman Manushyeshu Kaschin me priya kritama. The most dear person to me is he who shares the supreme secret with others. And therefore, when we make endeavors to give Krishna, to give the Bhagavad Gita, to give this knowledge, to give this wisdom which we've received to other people, Krishna is so happy, he's so inspired, he's so grateful. And therefore, he showers his mercy, he showers his blessings. So, after a long, hard day on Sankirtan, there is such a great bliss and satisfaction whether the result is great or not so great, I feel this satisfaction that I know that I've pleased Krishna and I know that I've pleased Srila Prabhupada. So I'm out there and I'm trying. The moment you step out of the door, you're successful. The moment you attempt to give someone Krishna, there is a success there. And of course, the more sacrifice we're able to make, the more mercy we receive. The more sacrifice, the more mercy. So, it's increasing. But it's the most wonderful... actually, it's a gift. This is also a gift. So we've received the knowledge, we've received the wisdom from Srila Prabhupada. That is the greatest gift. And then the opportunity, the mission to go out and give this to others, that is also a gift. That's also Srila Prabhupada's gift. To actually give us that opportunity, to engage us in the preaching mission. When Srila Prabhupada arrived in Boston Harbor, he wrote a poem called Markine Bhagavad Dharma. And he just arrived in the US. For the first time, he was setting foot on foreign soil in the Western world, in America. And he wrote this poem and he said, Krishna, I don't know why you've brought me here. I'm looking around and it's filled with the modes of material nature. The modes of passion and ignorance are so strong in this environment. What can I do? Prabhupada's humble, little old me, what can I do in this big bad America, in this land of mode of ignorance and passion? What can I do here? I don't know why you've brought me here, but you must have a plan. I'm sure you have a plan. So I'm your puppet. I'm your puppet. So just like a puppet, control me. O Lord, make me dance, make me dance. O Lord, make me dance, Prabhupada says. And so we try and enter into that mood. Krishna, please engage me. Make me your instrument. Make me your puppet. Inspire me to say the right words, to inspire people to take this knowledge, to take this wisdom. Inspire people. Krishna controls yantrarudhani mayaya. Krishna is controlling the movements of every living entity. Send people to me who are interested, who want to know. And as we make these endeavors, Krishna bestows his mercy. He sends people. It's not easy. I'll be honest with you. It's not easy. It's an experience. There's a lot of development that takes place in ourselves as a result. We have to be determined. We have to be a little thick-skinned because people sometimes can be a little rude. And even when they say no, it hurts. Over time you become immune to it a little, But this is, especially during this month, this is we try and make it our focus. We're in Switzerland. This is one of the epicenters of book distribution. So much wonderful book distribution has gone on here over the past 50 years, 45 years. And there's some special energy here. Because of the sacrifices and the books that have gone out. Srila Prabhupada said that this book distribution, it uplifts the collective consciousness of society. So there is something very special. So the devotees, we all have an opportunity during this month to make our endeavors in our own places and spaces. Friends, family, people we work with, people on the streets that we don't know, libraries, hospitals. The opportunities are endless. And we have books, and we're encouraging devotees to take books today We want to make them as available as possible, so that devotees have an opportunity to share Krishna, to share Srila Prabhupada's wisdom, to share these books with the people of Switzerland. So I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes, but before I do that, are there any questions, any comments? Yes?
I just wanted to tell you that I am your second gift. I'm a social worker. I'm from Lucerne.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I am. And there's little details. I'm not that young. I have been in India for 2 years.
Wow.
But to me, when you told this story, I was like, was I in Lucerne? And I love Indian food, and I would have loved to take your present as a cook, as a cooking book. So yeah, so Krishna is hearing us, and yeah, here I am.
Wow. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Madam will speak after the class. I can give you some books. It was in the train station yesterday.
I heard the calling to come here today, you know.
Wow.
I heard the call to come here today, so yeah.
It's not your first time here, madam.
No, but not many times.
Right.
Maybe my second or third time just.
Wow.
And I'm living currently in Zurich, but next week I'm moving back to Lucerne, so yeah, my hometown. Yeah, so.
What I told the lady yesterday is I don't believe in coincidences. There are so many people in that train station, and I said I stopped you. There's a reason why I stopped you. Like I said, Krishna is directing the wanderings of all living entities. There's so much that goes on in Krishna consciousness which is beyond our material vision. They say, you know, some people they say, I believe what I see. If I see it, then I believe it. But it's so blind. That's so blind. Because there is so much that is going on that we just don't see. And it's just amazing and wonderful to be a part of that magic. And when we extend ourselves, when we get out of our comfort zone, and we endeavor, and it's not easy going out there in the cold, in the rain, with the cold people who want to know why you're disturbing them from their daily routines, and to go out and to stop them and to share with them this greatest gift. You become a part of an inner circle, an inner circle of where Krishna governs things, and where there's Krishna, there's magic, and it's just another world. It's another experience. There's nothing like it. So I'm really so grateful that you came today, madam, that you listened to Krishna in your heart. Yeah, you can also share what we'll give you afterwards with other people too. So thank you. It's very nice. Thank you for sharing that. It's inspiring. Anyone else? Yes. Let's read the verse exactly. So, are we talking about the verse or the purport?
It is a verse, especially in 18th chapter, I think 67.
67. This confidential knowledge may never be explained to those who are not austere or devoted or engaged in devotional service, nor to one who is envious of me. Nice. So how do we explain this? There's also the seventh offense against the holy name. What is the seventh offense against the holy name?
Do not preach the glories of the holy name to someone who has no faith.
Right. So when we go out and we're giving Bhagavad Gitas and these books to faithless people, people who are atheist, agnostic, don't believe in Krishna, maybe even offensive against Krishna, and we're giving these books to them, then we're committing the 7th offense against the holy name. We're going against Bhagavad Gita 1867. But then Srila Prabhupada told us to go out and distribute books. Why did he do that? Maybe he's not really our well-wisher. Maybe he wants us to commit offences against the holy name. Maybe he wants us to go against Krishna's instructions. So the way we understand this is that yes, you know, sometimes when you speak to someone about something, it's better, sometimes you feel like, oh, it's better if I didn't even bring it up, because they just blaspheme. You know, they speak ill against Krishna, against our philosophy. There was one French. Okay, in Japan. In Japan, there was a news article. Once Srila Prabhupada received from one of his god brothers a news article. And it had, the title was basically along the lines of ISKCON devotees kicked out of Japan. You know? And so one of Prabhupada's god brothers has sent it to Prabhupada to basically suggest that he was bringing disrepute to Krishna consciousness, to Vedic culture, etc. Because his devotees had been kicked out of Japan. Srila Prabhupada said, well, at least we were in Japan in order to be kicked out. Right? We were there in the first place. We're actually doing something. So, Srila Prabhupada's mood, the understanding is that we receive a great mercy. There is some negative reaction involved. I've experienced people, I've walked past dustbins, and I've seen some of our books in dustbins, left on benches, thrown on the floor. And it's so sad when you see that, you know, you've just given a book to someone, and they just throw it in the bin. And then I think, how much sin do I incur for giving someone a book that they've thrown in the bin? Sometimes I meet Hindus who are maybe more aware, and at the same time not so aware, and they say, oh, I can't touch the Bhagavad Gita because I eat meat, and therefore I don't want to touch the book. I still make sure they touch the book, if not buy the book. There's sin that I incur from that. They incur some sin also. Sure. Sometimes, oh, I've got meat hands, or they're eating a hot dog, or whatever it is, and they touch the book with the same hands. That's sin. This book is non-different to Krishna. So there are so many aspects, so many elements where people, myself and them, are incurring sin. But we still do it. Why do we do it? Because the mercy that we receive from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for going out to preach far outweighs any sin which we may occur from our endeavours in preaching. So the mercy which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives is unlimited. And the sin which we incur is something, it's there, but it's insubstantial compared to the mercy that we receive. So, you know, there is a hierarchy of orders. And the highest order is to go out and preach Yagyai Sankirtana Prayar Yajanti Hi Sumedashaha. So the 11.532 from Srimad Bhagavatam explains that intelligent people, Krishna Varnam Tisha Krishnam Sango Pangastra Parshadam Yagyai Sankirtana Prayar Yajanti Hi Sumedashaha, that there will be an incarnation, and he will not be Krishna, he will not be blackish, he will be golden. That's the implication. He will have his associates, his weapons will be his associates, and together they will preach. They will engage in this Sankirtan Yagya. Intelligent people engage in that Yagya. That's what the verse says. And therefore we engage in the Yagya, we receive unlimited mercy from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Is that okay? Okay, so we have some wonderful gifts for everyone. And this gift comes in the form of the opportunity to be a part of this mission during this Christmas period. So we have these packs of books, and if you buy them in the shops, then they're more expensive. But we want to make these more available to the devotees so that you can distribute these books to, in whatever forum, in whatever way you would like to. So Lucas is assisting. If you can just show the... So we have various options for the devotees to take away today. So this is Chant and Be Happy. These books are all in German. It's my friendly assistant. So this is 5 Chant and Be Happies. 1 pack of 5 Chant and Be Happies, and then there's 10 Chant and Be Happies. If you buy 5 Chant and Be Happies, then today you get them for 41 francs. And a pack of 10 Chant and Be Happies is only 51 francs. And then Lucas came up with these prices. So, he's a generous guy. And then there are, the title is?
Schönheit des Selbst.
Right.
Can you also say?
Schönheit des Selbst. You can take 5 of these, 61 francs, and 10 of them, 81 francs. It's pretty good. 20 francs, you get 5 more books.
It's basically half price, yeah?
Half price. And then finally, the Bhagavad Gitas, our favorite. 3 Bhagavad Gitas is 61 francs. And 5 Bhagavad Gitas is only 81 francs. So you can speak to Lucas after the class. I would request that everyone takes 1, 2, 3 or more packs with them. Don't leave this temple room without getting a pack of books. Prasadam won't go anywhere. And take some books. Be a part of the mission. Be a part of the family business. And be a part of the Reign of Mercy, and especially actually during this month. You know, we distribute books all year round, but there is something very special about this marathon period. There's, you know, people are running around trying to buy presents for the right people. I tell people there is no better gift than the gift of wisdom. Give someone a book. What better gift can you give them? They're going to buy chocolates or clothes or food. Give them wisdom, give them Krishna consciousness, give them something higher, give them real meaning in life. So please endeavor to engage in this in whatever way you can. Don't calculate too much. How am I going to do it? How am I going to, if I take 10 SSRs, what am I going to do with all of those books? They will go. Because these books have a mind of their own. Actually, you know, Krishna is non-different to Bhagavad Gita. He is the Bhagavad Gita. So once one devotee said that these books could get up and walk into people's homes. But they don't do that. They choose not to do that because they want to engage us in the activity, in the endeavor of going out and sharing them with us, with the people. So be a part of the magic this month. Take some books. And see how you're inspired in your heart to give these books to the people of Switzerland this Christmas. I'm going to stop there. It's bang on 5, and it's very rare that I finish a class on time. So I will stop now. I thank you very much for your attention today, and please everyone say a prayer give us your blessings that we can distribute these books across Switzerland. We continue until the 23rd of December. We're out every day, and we need the blessings and the prayers of the devotees to be empowered to distribute these books. Thank you very much. Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Mai ki, Shri Shri Gaura Nitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Prabhupada Transcendental Book Distribution ki, Srila Prabhupada Marathon 2022 ki, Nitai Gaur Premanandi.
His Grace Anand Chaitanya Prabhu ki jai. Thank you very much, Prabhu, for giving us such a nice outset and inspiration for this marathon. So as we said, these books are available to get right now. And I just wanted to make you aware also of this little poster that is hanging outside. So for this marathon, we also have some other endeavors going on. In order to facilitate as many devotees as possible to participate, there's basically 4 things that are running right now. So one was this class and the distribution of the books at discount prices. And then we also have a sponsoring program for books. So you can actually sponsor books, and in this way choose also yourself where these books should go. Can go to libraries, to universities, or to other devotees, or you can other book distributors that go out daily, they can distribute them. If you're interested about that, please contact Manu Prabhu. He's sitting here. He's taking these orders. Then we have a very nice project also every Saturday leading up to Christmas. Ramapriya Sevika Mataji is taking out everybody who's interested. Yesterday there were about 10 devotees going out. So, and 2 of them, they were so inspired, they went again today. And so in this way you can also just once a week go out for 2 hours, a couple of hours, here in Zurich, very close to the temple, and yeah, share this wisdom with others. And then we have one other project headed by Damodar Prasad Prabhu, where devotees go out for Harinams more regularly now in this Christmas time. Even though it's cold, it will really warm your heart to sing the holy name and share Krishna consciousness in this way, and also pass out books there. So if you want to participate in that, please get in contact with Damodar Prasad Prabhu. The poster is hanging outside also, and yeah, I just encourage you to please participate in some way or form. We all can do something, and I'm sure this will please Srila Prabhupada and Krishna very much. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. And send this to Kadamba Kana Maharaj.
Yeah, do it.
I wasn't really satisfied. What were you leaving? Yeah, all the people. No. I didn't really. Huh? Yeah? No. I didn't really get
Langsam laufen, das war nicht sehen. Das sieht man.
Which books would you like?
Okay, you can only dance, okay? You don't have to be fit personally. Okay.
Das ist anstrengend, das bringt einen vielleicht nicht bereit vor, aber es bringt gar nichts. Das ist sehr wichtig, aber eben weil es auch von der Erfahrung.
You can put one there and take another one.
Das war Hingabe, Liebe von uns. Ja, bei Lesen oder eben, also ich glaube schon, dass es mehr zu viel gefunden hat. Macht es einfach. Yes. Selber Frequenz gemacht. Ich fand das ein bisschen mit China. Das ist auch eingestiegen. Das hat mich schon total viel gemacht. Also ganz viele Seiten. Deswegen glaube ich, das ist es ist halt limitiert, weil du musst halt schon Zeit mal so das kommen und ja. Ich war noch nicht das zweite Mal, dass ich angesprochen wurde. Ich denke mal, das ist auch ja, aber ich habe seinen Namen nicht. Ich kenne das auch aus anderen. Ich kenne das auch aus anderen. Das geht die Gamma nur. Das ist so eine ganz große Dorf und Tal.